In this final video regarding Nadine's relationship with her dad, you'll see what the outcome was. If you don't know me already, my name is Andrea and I'm a love and relationship coach, and Nadine is one of my clients looking at different areas of her life. In this series of videos, you'll see how she goes about reconnecting back with her dad again. In today's session, we were totally focused on her relationship with her dad and what real practical steps she could take to reconnect back with him again. Through that healing process, she became much more grounded, more clearer, knowing more of the type of relationship she wanted to have with her dad. So in today's session, we looked at gaining greater awareness of the role she was playing in her relationship with her dad. Also, real practical steps of how she could reconnect back with him again. She wanted to compose a letter, a way for her to really gather her thoughts and just clear the air a little bit because she hadn't seen him for a long time. So what she wanted was some help in that process. There were certain things that were triggering her, and she really wanted to understand what that was really about. And with that understanding, with that new awareness, she gained so much more clarity. And in that space of being grounded, being clear, feeling much more stable, much more secure within herself, she could actually start to make steps to reconnect back with her dad again and her family. She didn't want to keep away from the family home. She loves her family and she loves her parents. So together we found a way that she could move forward. And in today's video, you'll hear her sharing of what that experience has really been like afterwards, after they met again, after the 4 or 5 months of being apart. So today you'll see the results of all the amazing work that she's put in to get through that healing process so she can have a wonderful, kind, happy, loving relationship with her dad again, in a way that there's lots more laughter, there's lots more joy, there's lots more connection, and there's less of the, what I call the sticky stuff, the messy stuff that's just getting in the way. In that time apart, Nadine really learnt to stand on her own 2 feet, to take a responsibility for her own experience, responsibility for her own feelings. No longer was she making other people, and in this situation her dad, responsible for her. So this was a very big and dramatic change for her, because from that place she could learn to relate to him again from a more adult place. A place that she actually wanted for herself, and a place that she felt much more equal in that exchange and that dynamic between them.
So, making a video to follow up on the one that was to do with my dad, and the thing was that we'd stopped talking, or I'd stopped talking to him, because we'd argued, and but it triggered me in a way that it just in a very extreme way that made me just want to have distance from him. And I just wasn't feeling any desire to be in contact with him, and there was a lot of fear in me, and I think I felt like the kind of little afraid child inside me had been kind of like woken up again, and that was kind of something I needed to deal with. And in order to do that, now I see very clearly, but it's something I needed, just to step away from him and just to acknowledge, okay, I just need to get on with things and just, stand on my own 2 feet and just get, just grow up, basically. Grow up and get a new perspective. But in a gradual way, and just in a kind way to myself. But really the important thing was to become like disentangled, like not to continue to believe that my dad is responsible for how I'm feeling, but to take that responsibility back for myself. So that was what I was learning during this whole time. And so after a long period of no contact, my dad sent me a message. He'd been trying to contact me and sending things to me, and I sent a few things back, but nothing, no like long in-depth thing or any attempt to resolve anything that had gone on. And but he sent me a message saying, fancy meeting up sometime? If you do, then great. If not, then that's okay as well. Love from Dad. And, I did want to. I did feel, just in that moment that, it would be really nice to meet up. So I replied to him and said, is tomorrow any good? And he said yes. And, we decided on a place. But I think that day, was it that day or the following day? No. I don't know what, it may have been that day, because it was just the most bizarre coincidence that I was having a session with Andrea, I think that day. So, obviously this came up because it was the immediate thing on my mind. And so what we did was Andrea helped to construct this message, this email that I would send to my dad to let him know what I'd come to realise, how much I appreciate him, what's positive about the fact that I stepped away. I'm standing on my own 2 feet, I'm figuring things out myself, and I'm like reflecting differently on the kind of relationship I want to have with him. And I feel really good when we have a good relationship, and that's what I want for me, for you, for us, for our family. And I sent that to him, and then we met up the following day. And so the point of sending him the email, was to just make it clear to him that I was in a different mindset than I was previously. Because the last time he'd seen me face to face, I was like very agitated, and, I was reactive, and I was just, I was kind of unstable, like very emotionally unstable. And so it was very important to demonstrate kind of in my message, before we met up, that, okay, I'm not in that place anymore, and I'm ready to kind of move forward and move on from it. And that's the truth for me now in this moment. So, and he didn't really, what did he reply? I can't remember, something very sweet, very short and sweet, just saying like, okay, that's great to know. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So that we met up, and, I think I was a little bit nervous kind of on one level, because I'd not seen him for a long time, and there's no way of knowing kind of what it'll be like between us. But he would just seemed very happy to see me, and like kind of very relieved that my period of like distance and silence had come to an end, and that I was willing now to like respond to his attempts at contact and meeting up and that kind of thing. I think he was just very happy and very relieved. And so we had a good time, we chatted away, and he offered to buy me lunch, and we just caught up about things that had gone on recently in the family, and stuff that he was doing, and like his new kind of stuff for him with his exercise, and great changes that he's been undergoing, in his life, and feeling good for him. And so it was great. And then I had work later on, and I think I was meeting up with someone as well, so I just said, like, it's been really great, but I'm going to head off because I've got a few other things on today, and but I'm really, really glad that we met today, and thank you so much for lunch and blah blah blah. And it was just, that step forward that really was essential for us. It was so necessary. And do you know what had made me want that the most is the fact that Christmas was coming up. His birthday had just gone, and I think I had sent him a message, or was it that it was afterwards that I sent him a message or something? I gave him a call and that kind of thing. I think it was afterwards. But these things coming up, like family oriented events that I wanted to be part of, or at least I wanted to express my desire to be part of it, and then it's up to them, whether or not that's okay. So yeah, and then this was the first big step, like practical step, aside from our sessions and my emotional, getting my head wrapped around things and feeling all the kind of unstable feelings that I need to feel in a safe environment in the sessions, so that I could then be like, okay, yes, I've identified how I feel about that, and what would I prefer, and what's realistic, and what's kind of healthy, what's a healthy way to react, and that kind of thing. So to get all of that dealt with in the session, so that I'm far more capable of being in like a situation that might trigger me or might cause me to react in an inappropriate way. But I'm far more likely to be able to catch myself and be like, oh yeah, I identified this feeling before in the session, in a safe environment, and I had a new awareness about like why I'm feeling that way and what I need at the time that I'm feeling that, like what do I need to give myself to take responsibility for myself and not make anyone else responsible for how I'm feeling. So, this is the tool that I was given in the session with Andrea, wonderful. So I was able to meet my dad and catch up with him, and it was just really, really genuinely felt good. It felt really, really good. For me to acknowledge to myself and to him that, yeah, I do want us to get along and want us to have a good relationship. So yeah, that was wonderful.